Tonight on Cosmic Cantina, we're going back to school to learn how to interact with alien beings. Why are there so many huge cases involving school children experiencing encounters with UFOs? Are adults just ignorant and closed off to really understand the true nature of our reality? I'm going to say yes. Definitely yes. So open up your textbooks to page 1 and grab an umbrella, because the alien weirdness is flying thick and fast. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and every week I go to my favorite bar, Cosmic Cantina, and kick back with my co-hosts, Josh Golombeski and Matt O'Connor. We talk about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, ancient cultures, and anything from the unseen world that needs a little illumination. Welcome to Cosmic Cantina. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and tonight I'm drinking a red wine, and I honestly cannot remember what it's called, but it's really good. That's the kind of night I'm having.
Well done. Well done.
Nice. What about you, O'Connor? Whoa, I went full New England on you there for a second.
You know, I somehow managed to pour myself a glass of wine and then totally forgot about it and then got myself a beer, so I'm double fisting it right now.
What is wrong with us tonight?
We're in all sorts.
We're
a little
loopy.
But
I got my shit together a little more than you guys,
right.
I think. I'm only drinking one beer. We know what it is. It's a ghost fish. Everyone relax. But I've moved on from it was a grapefruit IPA. It's a very summery IPA, and I've switched to their next one, which I recommend, the Kick Step IPA. It's got people climbing a mountain on the cover of it. It tastes like winter, which is, darker beer, I guess. But that's what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Winter is coming. Well, that's fantastic, Josh.
Right.
At least you got your shit together. We don't even know what we're drinking.
Oh, God.
I feel prepared. You guys are like, yeah, whatever I found.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I want to start out with an article I just came across, and I just think it's fitting for probably what everybody's feeling right now. All right. So Fox News comes out with an article. Asteroid could strike Earth prior to election. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson says. So apparently,
I'm waiting. Let's make this happen.
An asteroid with a diameter the size of a refrigerator could strike the Earth the day before the November election, according to celebrity scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson. But it's not large enough to do any serious damage. It's known by NASA as 2018VP1. That's what this asteroid's been labeled as. It is hurtling towards Earth at a speed of 25,000 miles per hour and may clip the planet on November 2nd. So Neil deGrasse Tyson says, if the world ends in 2020, it won't be the fault of the universe. So there you have it, everybody. If you need some positivity going into this podcast, I got it for you.
I, for one, welcome the cold hand of death. Let's
you know what
this.
I was thinking? I was thinking, what if it's not a refrigerator? What if it's a telephone booth and it's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and they're coming in from the future to tell us really what the fuck we're supposed to do?
Whoa,
whoa, dude.
Whoa. Yes. Reddit would explode. They love Keanu. It would be everything they were waiting for. He'd be worshipped as a second Jesus.
Don't hurt my dog, man. All right, but that's not really what we're going to talk about. I just thought that was kind of a funny article. Obviously, they created that article. That was like the end of the article, by the way. So that was it. They did that so people like me would stop and read it and go, oh my God, right? But we have something else we want to talk about. It worked. They got me. We are going to talk about communicating with alien life. So what happens when the aliens land and we're like, oh my God, that's real, it's happening, it's like the movie Arrival, and then we realize we cannot communicate with them? Well, there's a study going on about that. This article is titled, Why Kids May Be the Key to Communicating with Alien Life. In a hypothetical first context situation, they believe toddlers may be our best hope. So get your kids ready, because they could be our only hope to communicate with alien life. So this woman, her name is Sherry Wells Jensen, who's worked with experts at the Institute for Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or METI. They also work with SETI, but this specific group is all about messages. SETI is about making contact, but METI is about actually communicating with alien life. So they've been doing a lot of tests on...
Yeah, that seems important.
Just like they actually reference the movie Arrival.
I love that movie. Top 10 movie for Josh. Everyone should see Arrival.
Agreed. It's a great movie. But in the movie, they bring the top linguists in the world to communicate, and she only communicates through symbols, right? She doesn't actually communicate through any kind of language because they're not going to speak people language or human type stuff.
Yeah,
so she says, this is her quote, "We'll get a radio signal, people will be really excited, then it'll be over. We'll figure out how to send an answer back, and then we'll have to wait 50 years to see if it worked." So she's like, I'm on this.
Then it's over. Nice.
I love it. She's pessimist. She's a realist. For example, so this is what she says in the article. For example, many of our communication methods are dictated by our bodies and by the way we manipulate the physical world around us. If aliens had something resembling hands and a face that we could read, we might be able to understand what they're saying. The best thing Earthlings can do to pick up on alien language in this scenario might be to send in children who are just learning to speak, since this age encompasses the time of peak neuroplasticity in humans, a period in which one of the brain's primary focuses is figuring out how to give and receive information. These kids make the perfect candidates for naturally picking up patterns that even expert adults might miss. All right.
Oh man, that makes sense. But I'm just picturing like a bunch of toddlers walking into the room with the predator or something, and then closing the door and being like, "All right, good luck." And then seconds later, it's just filled with.
What did he say? What did he say?
Bloody goo all over the walls. Anyway, that's
God,
that
that's
got
terrible.
very dark. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Wow,
Sorry,
we're not even
but
in
I
your
get
dark
it.
section
Like,
yet.
that makes sense because they're trying to think outside the box. Like I think the problem with SETI is that aren't they just sending radio signals up into space and hoping for the best,
Right.
hoping that that's something that aliens know about and
Use,
can pick up
right,
and read and
right.
use and understand.
Right.
So I think this is good. This is like thinking outside the box. I get it. Yeah.
That's why there's a woman running Medi, and she's like, well, that's great, dudes, but like, how are we going to communicate with them? You keep sending these signals up, and you're not getting anything back because you're probably not communicating with them correctly.
right.
Sorry, that was a little jab, but I couldn't help it. Go, Sarah Wells Jensen. Get those messages out.
Just needed a woman in there to sort things out. I get it.
That's right. I bet you she's good at dick jokes. And then none of the men in the room laugh, just like when I say it. All right, so
that was awkward.
The point of me bringing up this article is that we're going to talk about UFO sightings or cases involving schoolyards and why that's happening. And, maybe it has something to do with this article. Maybe they're trying to communicate with children that are a little bit more open because we become adults and it takes, just think of like just being an adult now. It takes a lot for you just to break a simple pattern, but to actually learn how to communicate with something that's not even human. That's, as she's saying, it's not even, adults can't do it. So, I know, Josh, that you picked up a book on this, actually.
Yeah, I got really interested in Schoolyard UFO encounters after watching the movie The Phenomenon, which just came out. I recommend to everybody. The end of it ends with this famous case in Zimbabwe, as we all know, of this case where like scores of kids, I think like 50 kids and several teachers witness a UFO land and humanoids get out. And there was even telepathy going back and forth, and they were giving images of we should stop using technology to destroy the planet. It was a whole thing, and there's too many people saw it. That kind of sparked my interest. Like, is there more out there? Are there more stories like this? And why? Like, why would they choose schools? So I picked up this awesome book called Schoolyard UFO Encounters: 100 True Accounts by Preston Dennett. And it was really fascinating. Great story about Australia. Wow. I know Mr. Matt O'Connor's going to share with us later.
That's right. Yeah, we're going down under.
Bringing up the
Strap
rear.
in.
Bang, bang. So, okay, why are we... I love a good anal joke. So,
because you like getting probed. We know.
Yeah.
Well, it's classy too. So
right.
Is
You
it?
better be careful. I might like it.
I don't know.
That's what all guys say. It's totally classy getting it in the butt. It's totally cool. Everybody's doing it.
Wait, someone told you that?
Yeah.
No.
It's like,
Never.
guys don't say that, Melissa. What are you talking about? All right.
You guys are busted. All right, go on. Talk about something serious now.
Okay. All right, Zimbabwe. Give me the year.
All right. Okay. Fuck. I'm totally thrown off now. We went too deep. No pun intended.
That's what she said.
Okay. What I'm going to tell you is Why are these schoolyard settings so unusual and so amazing? One, all of them are in broad daylight, which is unusual for UFOs.
Yeah.
That's
They're not
true.
random. It's not just like a ship way in the sky or a light way in the distance. They seem to hover over the schools, approach the schools, hang out at the schools for a while, and they're seeing objects, metallic objects, not just lights. A lot of UFO sightings are just a light in the sky. The sightings last a long time, which is unusual. Usually most people see a UFO for a couple seconds, then it zinged off. I saw it up there in the sky. These are sitting there for like
Zing.
minutes, sometimes hours. Usually it involves large groups of people witnessing them. Anywhere from 1 to 400 people in these stories in this book. And most of the big ones were lots of people. And
Mostly
also,
kids?
which is,
Or are they adults too?
I would say mostly kids, but definitely have a mix of teachers and principals and other people seeing them, but primarily the kids, which is interesting. And also, this is highly unusual in these sightings. 30% of them involve seeing a humanoid or an alien, which is extremely high percentage if you just encounter all UFO reports that are reported. That is like unusually high. So with that information, I want to tell a quick story in this book that I thought was super fascinating. I also had something extra in it, which I haven't heard about in a long time, besides from some old ass story in the 16 or 1500s in Germany. It's called. You guys ever heard of angel hair?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
haven't.
I mean, there's a plant, right, that is called angel hair. That's like wispy, and I think this is kind of a similar idea but it's not a plant, right?
No, it's a substance left behind by UFOs.
Oh, that's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could interpret it different ways, but they say angel hair. I might have a different way of describing it. Okay, so this...
Oh. So
Is it a viscous, liquidy kind of
Ew.
seminal type of... sorry, I'll stop. Angel hair. Go for it.
Angel hair. So, Jerome Elementary School... So,
Oh my
Jerome Elementary School, October 22nd, 1954, in Marysville, Ohio. At 3:15, 60 students went outside on a very nice day and were playing outside and looked up and witnessed a cigar-shaped UFO slowly approach the school, hover above it. It was kind of hard to look at sometimes. It was metallic but very bright. They kind of could make out windows on it, but it was kind of hard to tell because of the way the sun was glinting off of it. They started yelling excitedly. They were getting all crazy. And the principal ran outside. The principal's name was Rodney Warwick. You know this guy, fucks. He bursted onto the scene.
Fuck yeah, Rodney does.
It's like, nobody get ice cream from that floating truck. Nobody.
He came out all gee whiz from the 50s. And he noticed right away, like, he noticed the craft. And then he noticed no one was panicking, which is unusual. Like, the kids, everyone was kind of just looking up and no one was scared. I mean, if adults saw that over a building, we'd all be like, oh my God! You know, it'd be an intense scene. But everyone was really, really calm, which is another symptom of a lot of these experiences. Like, the kids aren't that frightened. But, I mean, it's really interesting. Okay. So the thing suddenly darted away out of nowhere after being there for like 20, 30 minutes. It was there for a long time. Only the principal and the kids witnessed it. But when it left, it dropped down this trail of like white spider web-like substance, which we call angel hair. And it rained for 45 minutes over a 3-mile wide area. I want to read the description. Now, this was all in the news. This was a whole thing in the 50s.
Did they test it?
They did. They sent it off. Well, later they sent it off to an Air Force base nearby and never heard back. We haven't heard that before. Yeah, fucking. So in the book, this is what one of the teachers described it as. The most beautiful, soft, white-looking tufts, like cotton, slowly floating to the ground. The substance had long fibers, very much as someone had taken strands of angel hair and pushed them in bunches towards the middle or end, leaving a trail of fibers attached to it. So
Sounds
they started
gross
picking it
to
up.
me.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. They started walking around and touching it, and they noticed that it disappeared. If they touched it on one end, like right away, it kind of just dissipated. If they touched it on the other end, it curled up into a ball, then dissipated, which was interesting.
What?
So
Wait,
then
you would
she
let
went
the
on.
kids touch it? Sorry.
Well, it just went everywhere. It was 3-mile radius. Like, it shut down the whole like area. Like, everyone was like, "What the fuck?" It's like raining giant strains of like, semen from the sky on everyone's heads. It's a fucking full panic.
No. Yeah, go for it.
Johnny, don't put that in your mouth. Put it down.
Johnny.
Oh, it's salty.
God.
We're leaving that in. We're leaving that in. Stop.
Hell yeah, we are.
Keep going.
So this is what the teacher said. It was very fine and soft to touch. It did not stick to our hands, but when we held two ends and pulled, it stretched without tearing.
Oh my
where it's
God. The
stretched.
innuendos are thick and fast, and I'm just going to let it go.
Just can't.